The roof of Indochina, Mount Fansipan is part of the Huanglinshan mountain range, located at the southeastern extremity of the Himalayas. Few know that this is also home to the roots of Vietnamese tea, centennial, age-old tea trees taller than 30 meters, with diameters wider than the embrace of 2 or even 3 people. These tea giants grow along the mountain range at 2,200 to 2,800 meters. They were only discovered in the year 2000. Hidden deep within the forest, the journey to reach the first centennial tea tree in this area takes at least half a day. Yet the long expedition pays off as one arrives upon a forest lush and green with these tea trees. We gather fresh tea leaves of the branches at 2,200 meters. The taste of the tea has surprised this group of tourists from Hong Kong, here to climb Mount Fansipan.
I tasted Vietnamese tea before. The taste is quite bitter. I do not like that type of tea very much. Yet this tea is very special. A sip and already it feels refreshing. This is perhaps one of the best tea I've tried so far.
Ha Giang province is situated at the northernmost border of Vietnam with China. Living here is a community of the Dao ethnic group. Many village elders in the Xin Chai commune recount tales of the age-old tea trees.
I'm 72 years old already. Growing up, my parents told me about the ancient tea trees. I started cultivating tea when I was 14 or 15. My parents taught me that we must protect such trees for future generations.
The Dao people here know the tea forest like the back of their hands, cultivating fresh tea leaves from the forests. They consider the tea trees a valuable source and natural treasure of the community. Continuing the tea journey, we travel to Suizang Commune, a tea hub in the northern Yên Bai province. Here the Hmong villagers cultivate tea and thus have kept the tradition of a tea ceremony, celebrated on the first day of the tea crop each year. For the ceremony, a shaman and villagers gather at a 300-year-old tea tree, considered the oldest in Suizang. According to shaman Zhang Alu, the ceremony is to pray to the gods for bumper crops and a productive tea season ahead. In all of the expeditions to discover ancient tea trees, the most arduous is perhaps the route to reach Tho Chua district in the northwestern province of Điện Biên. Roughly 260 kilometers from Điện Biên City, yet it takes at least 8 hours using different modes of transportation to reach the ancient tea forest, home to more than 7,000 centennial tea trees. It's now 10 a.m., yet the forest is still shrouded in mist. The head of Ho Chua village greets us with a pot of tea. The sweet aftertaste is one that lingers upon the depth of one's throat, an experience yet to be found with other types of ancient tea. An expedition that literally takes us to the clouds. Batsua Mountain in the northern province of Sunla is another destination where one can find centennial tea trees. Cared for by the villagers of Mongfang village, the trees here stand at 15 to 20 meters tall. Leaves are cultivated and tossed dry in a pan according to a traditional method passed down from one generation to the next. This gives the tea a distinctive and unforgettable taste. Bidding farewell to the ancient tea regions of the Northern Highlands, we travel now to the tea plantations of the lowlands. Our first stop is Phu Thot Province, the cradle of the Vietnamese tea industry. From the 1950s, 520 hectares have been set aside to grow and conduct research on different types of tea, becoming a supplier of tea for many provinces across the nation. The Phu Thot tea area employs around 2,000 workers, producing 13 to 15 tons of tea per hectare, supporting not only the domestic tea market, but also exporting to markets abroad, namely Europe. At an altitude of 1,050 meters and around 200 kilometers from the capital city of Hanoi is Mộc Châu Province. Here, one can find an area of over 1,100 hectares, abundant with tea hills, producing tea specialties like oolong tea, kim tuen tea, or ngoc tui tea. This region is considered to have one of the nation's most beautiful tea plantations. Another hub for Vietnamese commercial tea is Thái Nguyên Northern Province. The production process takes the tea through a series of steps, including drying and eventually being tossed over heat to become the dried tea final product. Machinery has long taken over the role of the traditional drying pan, helping to maximize the capacity of tea production. Thái Nguyên tea is one of the most prevalent in the nation and is a brand near and dear to the hearts of many Vietnamese. In the southern region of Vietnam, the first tea plantations grew in Co Duc of Đà Lạt City. The French had created the Co Duc plantation in 1927 with a total area of 600 hectares and an initial 1,000 workers to man the plantation. From that foundation, the tea in southern Lâm Đồng province has developed rapidly and has become one of the nation's largest tea hubs, promoting sustainable growth and introducing many new types of tea plants. Back in the capital city of Hanoi, tea infused with the aroma of lotuses has long become a quintessential delicacy. During the season where lotuses grow abundantly in Hanoi's West Lake, the very best of lotuses are gathered early in the morning. The stamen of the lotus is separated to be used as an aromatic infuser for the tea. It takes roughly 1,000 lotuses to yield 1 kilogram of grounded stamen
to infuse in the tea. The intricacy with which it takes to produce lotus tea makes this type of tea a luxurious and prized delicacy of Vietnam.